And just give me one moment. I'm just checking the chart window. Okay, so we are good to go. Okay, so today I'm going to discuss about the SAP HANA demo. Okay, before I'm going to start the SAP HANA demo, okay, let me brief about myself. Okay, so my name is Jagan and I'm working as a SAP BA and a HANA senior consultant. And I did a certifications in the SAP BW 7.3 and HANA SP8, so we can go for a 142. And when it comes to the highest education, I have completed my Master of Computer Applications. And when it comes to the skills, I have been worked in the SAP Warehouse, SAP HANA, and SAP Business Objects as well. Along with that one, I have a SQL expertise as well. And when it comes to the non-SAP reporting tool, I have experience in the Tableau as well. And when it comes to the domain expert, I'm good at the sales, finance, and the banking modules. And when it comes to the sales, so that is my core. So where I have been implementing the projects in SAP BW and SAP HANA as well. And now we are going to start the about. Okay. Sorry guys, I just had one chart window with one of the organizer. And let's start with the course topics. Okay, the course has been divided into totally 6 parts. In the first part, we are going to discuss about SAP HANA introduction and basic SQL, which we need to show up the data and to perform the minimum operations on top of SAP HANA. And once we are done with the basic SQL and SAP HANA introduction, we are going to discuss about the data provisioning techniques. Okay, in the data provisioning techniques, we are going to discuss about the how we can get the data into SAP HANA using a different types of extraction tools. So in here we are going to discuss about SAP BODS. That is one type of tool where you can perform a data transformation, data cleansing, and text data processing. So using the SAP BODS, we can extract the data and we can transform the data by applying a different types of business rules to achieve the final output. So that is a one type of extraction tool. And when it comes to the second type of tool is SAP SLT. So basically this tool has been introduced by the SAP, which will allow you to extract the real-time data both from SAP and non-SAP systems. In here, it will support a different types of SAP systems as well as the non-SAP system, and it will do a real-time streaming between your source system to your SAP HANA target system. So any entered posted in the source system will be copied immediately to SAP HANA system. So that will be provide a deep analysis of your data when you are having the real-time feed. Okay, so once we get the data, we need to build a different types of models. So as part of the different types of models, we are going to discuss all the models that is available in SAP HANA. Okay, so that models can be divided into different types of like graphical user interface modeling, and the second one is the SQL interface modeling. Okay, as part of the graphical interface modeling, we are going to discuss about the attribute view, analytical view, calculation views. And as part of the SQL view, so we are going to discuss about the SQL. And when it comes to the decision tables and analytical privilege, as part of the both, we can build in the graphical user interface and we can build using the SQL as well. Okay, that is the information models part. And when it comes to the SAP HANA SQL, we know, right, HANA is a both, it will support both OLTP operations as well as the OLAP operations. So when you want to do OLAP and OLTP, you have to execute some type of database commands which system can understand. So in here, SAP HANA can be interacted with the three types of language. Either you can go for a SQL, either you can go for R language, or either go for the L language. In here, we are going to discuss about the SQL. So where we are going to discuss about the procedures, how to write different types of procedures like a PL/SQL statements in Oracle, and how it will give advantage in SAP HANA to achieve the things. And the second part will be the CE functions. So basically, the CE functions has been introduced by the SAP, and which will be useful for you to maximize the performance when you are working with the core tables. Okay, so it is a kind of SQL thing. So we are going to see a different types of examples on the CE functions. Okay, once we are done with the CE functions and everything, then we will move to the SAP HANA user and roles. We know, right, security is the major thing when it comes to the any type of IT things. Okay, so in that one, we are going to discuss about how we can create a different types of users like admin users and the development users and the supporting users, and what are all the different roles that we can assign to these users. Okay, so that is the way you can think about the security. And the same way, we'll let you know how you can configure a roles between the SAP BO system to your SAP HANA system as well, because we know, right, the integration between the SAP BO to SAP HANA is very tightly when it comes to security. So that is the way we are going to discuss that part as well. So once we are done with the things, now, so what we have built a different types of models in the SAP HANA. Now we have to allow the front-end users to do the reporting on that one. So for that one, we are going to discuss about how we can access these information models from a different kind of front-end reporting tools like SAP Business Objects. So in that one, we are going to discuss about how we can expose the HANA models into Business Object Studio, like calculation views, analytical views, and the SQL code and everything. And along with that one, we are going to discuss about how we can expose these HANA models into SAP Design Studio as well. Because when it comes to Design Studio, it will purely build to increase the performance of SAP HANA and SAP BW only. So that is why we are going to discuss that tool as well. And along with that one, we are going to discuss about the SAP Lumira. When it comes to the SAP Business Objects and SAP Design Studio, which will give access to the users as well as the developers to build the reports. And when it comes to SAP Lumira, it will make the users to build the reports by their own, as well as they can access the developer. So why it is so different means, so because the users having so many customizable functions is available in SAP Lumira. And along with that one, one of the tool which is in demand in the market, like in the Tableau. So we are going to discuss about how you can access the models in a Tableau environment as well. Okay, so these are all high view about SAP HANA course topics. Okay, so if you are good, we are good to start with the SAP HANA introduction part. Okay, now we are discussing with the SAP HANA introduction. Okay, and the agenda of this introduction part will be the how information is explosion in the current world, and why this current system is not able to do different types of operations in the current informations. Okay, and what are all the bottlenecks in the current system, and how the in-memory technology has been overcome these type of bottlenecks in the current system, and how efficiently it will work with the existing data. Either it may be structural data, or either it may be unstructured data as well. Okay, once we have discussed with the bottlenecks and how to overcome the bottlenecks, we are going to discuss about SAP HANA capabilities, like what are all the different types of operations that can be done in SAP HANA, and what are all the unique features that is a part of SAP HANA. And next, we are going to discuss about where you can fit the HANA system into your existing landscape. So we can go for how you can use the SAP HANA system. Like you can go for a OLTP system, or else you can go for a OLAP systems to do the real-time, analytics and everything, as well as to enter the real-time data into the system. After that, we are going to discuss about what are all the different types of SAP HANA versions has been released till now, and on which version we are going to train user people. And the final one will be what are all the different types of roles will perform as part of the HANA development, like when you are doing SAP HANA, when you are doing the infrastructure, right? So what are all the different roles will perform, like from solution architect to developer. And we are going to discuss about the SAP HANA system architecture, like how the SAP HANA system built, what are all the different components as part of the system and everything. Okay, let's start with the information explosion. Okay, so when it comes to the information explosion, we know, right, the current digital world have been populating the data using a different kind of things. So the transaction data may be populating using the OLTP systems, and the analytics data is populating as part of the analytical applications. Along with that, we have a different sources of data we have. When we have a different sources of data, so first we have to analyze how much volume it is, and what is the different variety, what is the different types of data is available, and what is the growth of the data. By considering these three factors, so we are going to discuss about how information is available in the current world. Okay, as part of the recent estimates, so the current world having almost 4.4 zettabyte of data, so it's almost triple to the terabytes. So that is the statistics in the 2013, and when it comes to the 2020, it will be the almost, you don't believe it, almost with 20 zettabyte of data, which any type of systems at present cannot handle that many amount of data. We know, right, but as part of the organization, we don't need to dig up the whole data which is available in the internet. So we need to know what our products and what are the different types of things we have to do in the IT. Okay, and when it comes to the what is the different, how much data is available, and these are the statistics about that particular one. And when it comes to the variety of data, so we have different types of data, which is data from CRM, mobile, and the real-time streaming, which may be a satellite, which may be a mobile, which may be like an application, or which may be a satellite, or a application which has been installed in your desktop, or if a mechanical device which has been fit in your truck or lorry to know the real time how it is moving and everything. Okay, and when it comes to velocity, as per the statistics, okay, they are saying that for every 18 months the data is getting doubled. So that means that in 2013, if it is a 4.4 zettabyte, so it is in 2014 it will be the 8.8 zettabyte. So that is the database growth it is. Okay, and when you're having all this type of data with you, so what are all the problems that you will face? Okay, so if you want to, that before we are going to discuss the problems, first we have to discuss what are all the expectations from the things. The first one will be to make the decisions in the real time and to reduce the risk. Okay, so how the real time decisions make high profits and reduce the risk. Suppose you are having a sales, that you are having the plant where you are producing, where you are producing different types of materials, and immediately a sales order has been cancelled, which is almost 1 ton. So immediately you want to, that the customer did some operations, and immediately the sales department has to know so why the sales order has been cancelled. So immediately they need to get alert. So how you can do such type of thing means, so whenever the sales order has been created, you need to run a report. So when you want to run a report, you need to have the real-time data. Okay, so until unless having the real-time data, it is not possible. If you don't have any real-time data with you, so it will take a day to get the alert, and after one day if you are going to reach the customers, it's out of the conditions. And when you are having the real-time data with you, so always immediately you can contact with the customer and you can know so what is the problem, either the problem with the material, either the problem with the quality, either the problem with the financial things, either the problem with the bidding. So you came to know that what is the exact situation over there. So based upon that one, you can take different types of decisions. And the second one will be whenever you are doing a business, right, you have to get the personal experience when you are doing the business. Okay, when I want to do a sales order, okay, immediately what you have to do, so you have to, you can create a sales order immediately from your mobile. So that type of business experience you are expecting. And the same way, when you want to do analytics, you don't need to go for your system and open the desktop, then get the things. I don't need such type of experience. So immediately on the mobile, on the fly, I have to get. So this sales order has been cancelled. So get track on that one. So like that way, this is the personal experience they are expecting from you. And the third one will be the instant questions and instant answers. So like that way, suppose if I increase my market, if I increase my market growth immediately, like the investments I am putting in the market. So what is my risk and how it will give the profit? So if you want to do this type of thing, you have to run your existing all the things. So for the past 10 years or 20 years, how the market is going. So when the market is very high, when the market is very up, when you release a new product into the market, how the response is. So from different types of feeds, you have to analyze the data, like on the Twitter, it may be a Facebook or any social networking site. So you have to get the data from that type of systems and you have to analyze the data. You know that the data which is in the Twitter and everything will be the unstructured. How you can convert this unstructured data into a structural format means you have to use a different types of ETL tools, like in the BODS, where a Python script will execute and it will get the data from the sites, and you can convert this unstructured data into structural format to do your analysis. And the one which you are maintaining, right, it needs to be very cost effective management. So to achieve these things, right, we know HANA is expensive, but how it will make a cost effective management data. Suppose let us assume it, you have a 1 TB of data with you, okay, which have been stored in a hard disk. Okay, when you want to store a hard disk in a 1 tera of data, you have to think about the operation cost, you have to think about the maintenance cost, and you have to think about the license cost and everything. So when you mix all this thing over a period of time, right, it will be same cost compared to SAP HANA, because you don't need to buy 1 terabyte of HANA system to store a 1 TB of data, because the HANA system will store the data in a columnar format. So that is why the data which is 1 TB in a row-based system will be compressed to 70%. So that may be come to a 400 MB in the HANA system. So that is the difference it will make. How means, suppose you are not ready to investment your things in SAP HANA system, you can go for the cloud management, where you can rent the HANA system for a particular time period, and you can check that how efficient it is storing the data and how efficiently it is doing your analysis. So once you are good to go, then you can get the system into your on-premise. So that is a on-premise, then cloud integration, everything will comes to the picture over there. Now we are going to discuss about what are all the bottlenecks in the system. Okay, so the bottlenecks in this system, right, this is the past architecture when it comes to any type of SAP systems and non-SAP system. Irrespective of an IT system, it will be the hardware. Okay, so we know, right, the first bottlenecks, we already aware of the things will be the extraction the data from the disk. So that will be the very expensive, because we know, right, the main memory and cache is and CPU is a very high cost. So that is why we always store the data in a disk, because the main memory and the CPU, everything is a volatile. So when you are storing the disk and when you want to access the disk, it will take a time to access all your 1 terabyte data. So that is where the first bottleneck you are seeing in any type of the system. Of course, we have different types of algorithms and everything. Still, any type of algorithm and everything has to be depend upon the disk reading speed only. Okay, even it is a multiple access and everything. The second bottleneck you are seeing is till the disk is arrived, okay, the main memory and the core CPU cache, everything needs to be in the idle stage. Okay, so once the data is extracted to the main memory, it has to transform the data between the main memory to the CPU cache, where it will take a lot, good time when it comes to the compared to the data transfer between your disk to main memory. So that is the second bottleneck you are seeing. Because of so every one CPU cache will be interacted with the one memory main module. But if you see the future architecture, okay, so there is a multi-core architecture. So you can see a multiple CPUs can be handled into a single motherboard, which will make a parallel processing to speed up the data, and a different types of operating systems. Now we have a 64-bit operating system, which will support almost a 2 TB of RAM memory at a single point of second, which can 100 GB of speed. And we know, right, when it comes to the SAP HANA, it can be a single, that a single node can be 12 terabyte of data. So that is the current hardware has been changed. And when it comes to the memory, so still most of the systems using the existing memory, that you are always storing the data in the main memory in the row based tables only. But when it comes to the future technologies, so what is the future technology? The main memory needs to be stored both the row based and column based to do operations both on the OLTP systems as well as the analytical systems. And the
Muted.
Efficient when you are reading the data and delta. Now we are going to see the compression. Okay, these are all the parts. So we are going to discuss it one by one. So where it has been, how it has been overcome the existing bottlenecks and everything. So the first one will be the memory computing, how it is doing the memory computing. So the first one we have to do is in here is the previous one, where all the data is storing in a disk and the disk data can be accessed into a memory. So previously the main memory having very limited, that is why the data volume of the growth is very high and the memory management is very low. So that is why when you are seeing over here, right, so the data has been condensed and only the respective data will be loaded into memory and CPU will do the operations. But when it comes to the SAP HANA, what it will do is it is almost equivalent to your disk, because right now you don't have any limitations with the memory. You know, right, we can almost access the 12 TB of memory we can put into single SAP HANA system, and you can do a parallel like 12 TB plus 12 TB plus 12 TB. Like that way you can go for that one. And the minimum SAP HANA system RAM will start with 64 GB only. So that is why what SAP has been done, instead of storing all your data into the disk, you can store all your data into the RAM itself. So you don't need to go for the disk every time whenever you require a data. But why they still keep the disk? Because we know, right, the RAM is a volatile. So that is why whenever you do a power loss, so automatically you will lose the data which is a part of in the memory. So that is why what they have done is they have maintained an efficient synchronization between your memory and your disk. So that means that whenever there is a transaction happen at the memory level, like inserting is happening here, immediately it will be synced and it will be stored in a disk as well. So whenever there is a power failure, when there is a hardware failure and everything, you don't need to bother about data. So when HANA is restarting, automatically it will read the data from your disk and it will keep all the data in your memory itself. So where in memory we will store a different types of operations like a column store, partitioning, compressing, and a parallel processing of your data between a CPU and memory. So that is the way HANA is more efficient. Now we are going to discuss about how the column store, how the partitioning, how the compression is happening, and what is insert only and delta. Okay. So the first one will be the column store. You see the in here, right? So basically when it comes to row store, how it will store the data. So the way you are seeing a row, right, the same way it will write the data into in a disk as well. So when you in a real time, when you want to access the date and time, so based upon particular date, so which customer has been bought how much quantity. Okay, so by the time what it will do is the row store will read all this entire line. So that is why when you want to access a terabytes of data, it will take very high time to access the data. But when it comes to the column store, what it will do is, so instead of accessing all your alphanumeric data, for every alphanumeric data it will create a unique index. Okay, so that indexes will be stored into the main memory, and these are all the part of your index tables. So whenever you are accessing the things, what it will do is immediately it will check the respective indexes, and the respective indexes will be look up into the index table and it will get the data. So that is why the column based the column based table is more efficient when it comes to the row based table, because it will not search all entire row. So it will search, so for that particular date, how much quantity that has been done means it will look up only date and the quantity only. It won't look up the material and customer. Where in a row based table they will look up. And previously, what are all the disadvantages of column databases? When you want to insert a new data, suppose there is a product called a DOB. Okay, so that needs to be inserted in here, like because the way it will do index will be the sequential. So that is why it has to insert between the 2 and 3. So when it has to insert between the 2 and 3, what it has to do, it has to rearrange the index table and it has to rearrange the original table. So that is where it will take more time in a previous technologies. So what SAP has been doing, instead of doing these kind of things like doing a reindex and everything, they have inserted a concept called insert only and delta, and that insert only or delta is merged with the concept called merging, and they have overcome this option. I mean to say, so previously it will be more expensive, and that more expensive statement has been decreased to the like how you can insert the data into a row table will be equivalent to inserting a data into column based table as well. Okay, so when you are inserting a data in a column based table, or when you are reading a data in a column based table, how it will work. Okay, so previously these are all assumptions. So when it comes to aggregation tables, okay, so for every type of row based table we have to build aggregates, because it's very difficult to read all your transactions and to do the aggregation. So that is why you have to build a different types of aggregation tables and everything. But when it comes to the column based table, you don't need to build any type of aggregations, because the column based tables will be more efficient when it comes to the accessing the data. So when it comes to new values, so whenever you are inserting a new values into the row based table, it will take very less time to insert it, but previously it will take very high volume of time to insert the data. So that has been overcome into SAP HANA. That is why either you are using the row based table or else either you are using a column based table, it will not make any difference. So both will work on the same way. And previously the practice is you will work row based tables only for the OLTP purposes, like ERP systems and the real-time transaction data inserting and everything. But when it comes to the column based, you are going to use in the OLAP processor. But right now you can use a single column based table both for the OLTP operations as well as the OLAP operations. That is why you can use SAP HANA for SAP BW, where you can do a OLAP operations, and for SAP ERP, where you are inserting a real-time data. Okay. So when it comes to the SAP HANA, how it will access the column-based table means, so here it is a Y. So if you are seeing a data, right, it will be inserted in tuple wise. So this all the data will be stored in a tuple. This all the data will be stored in a tuple. But when it comes to the column-based table, how it will store means all these values will be first written to memory. Once these values has been completed, the next column will be started. So that is why you don't need to read all the data to read only 2 columns of your table. So it will directly jump into index for this column 1. Once it is done, then it will directly jump into the column 3. Okay, if you are having a parallel processing, so both column 1 and column 3 can be accessed at the same time. So that is why it is more optimized on a existing hardware, and it is more compressible, because you don't need to store. Suppose if you observe over here, right, the radio has been inserted 2 times. So in a column, in a row based table, you have to insert radio and radio. So that means that 8 letters you have to insert. But when it comes to the column based table, you don't need to insert the 8 letters. You have given an index in here, and that index can be inserted in here and here. So how much data it is occupying? So it is occupying 6, 7, 8. Means for a less number of entries, it will take the same. But when you are having the 100 entries, so it will occupy 801. But when it comes to in here, it won't occupy 800. So a 100 index will take 100 plus 8. So only 108 memory it is required. Where in the row based table, you require almost 800. So that is the difference how a column store will make a better compression with the row based tables. And the second one will be the partitioning. So we know, right, SAP HANA can be, large out. So it can store a multiple types of hardware which can be linked together to partition the data. So that is why if you have a table which is having the 4 columns and the table having almost 1 million records. So what you can do is every column you can store a different types of nodes where it is a different types of hardwares. Okay, and all can be linked with the master node. Okay, so whenever you are requesting a data, one core will work with one type of column. So that is why all 4 cores will work with the 4 types of columns, which will reduce the amount of time it will take to access the data, and which will increase the performance. So that is why when it comes to the partitioning, it has been efficiently maintained in a different types of when you are having the multi-node architecture in your system. When it comes to single node also, you don't need to worry about, because we have a multiple CPUs and can be sit on the single node, which can parallelly access a memory. So that is the second advantage, even you have a single node as well. So previously we don't have this option. Why? Because we have to get the data from the disk. So that is where the main memory and the CPU will sit idle. But right now I have all the data in memory, and it won't take much time to push the data between your memory to your CPU. And the third one will be the insert only on delta. So how it will be means, suppose I have a transaction happening with respect to one material. Okay. So when you are inserting a data, previously what you are going to do is you are going to directly insert into main storage. So that is why it will take more time to rearrange the index and everything. So to overcome this option, what SAP has been done is, whenever you are inserting any type of new row, they are going to assign a transaction ID for you. Okay. So assume it, first you have loaded the data into the SAP HANA. So that time what it will do is it will store all your data into a main storage. Okay. From that time onwards, whenever you are loading the data, it will sit into a delta storage. Suppose in here, all this data from 1 to 58 has been stored into delta storage. Okay, and whenever a new record has been inserted, it will be given a new transaction ID, that is 79 in here, and it will be inserted into delta storage. So how many rows for this particular material is? There are 4 rows. But when you are reading operation, right, what it will do is it will get the latest transaction ID only with respect to that material. That means that only it will pick 79 only instead of picking all these old entries. So that is where you are overcoming the existing one, because you are inserting in here delta storage, which is having the very less number of records only. Okay, so once over a period of time, what will be happen? The delta storage also will increase a lot of memory. So that is why what they have done is they have implemented one concept called dog. Okay, that we call as a snap dog. So what that snap dog will do is it will always scan your tables throughout the entire SAP HANA system, and whenever the delta storage has been come to one particular memory level, so what it will do is it will do a merge operation. That means that it will insert all these records into a main storage. By the time it will consider only the latest record. So what is the latest record in here? Only the 79. So that 79 will be inserted into a main storage, and all the remaining records will be removed from the main memory. So that means that delta storage will again come to normal. This is the way how it has been overcome the insert operation, which is most expensive in the column table. So that is the concept of insert only on delta. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about the how you can use the SAP HANA system into your existing both SAP landscape infrastructure and the non-SAP landscape infrastructure as well. The first one where SAP HANA can be sit into SAP one is accelerators. So because we know, right, when SAP HANA has been introduced in the market, it has to prove itself that it will be work fine with the SAP systems as well, because that is where their market, the primary market is there. So what they have done is they have introduced a concept called accelerators. So if you are having a background about SAP ERP, so there are some line of business like controlling and financialing and material ledger. These are all the most expensive. I mean that when it comes to some type of reports, right, that type of reports will take a lot of time to execute into the SAP ERP. So like a general ledger, so where you have to do the account receivables and account payables, and you have to do so many operations. That is why it will take a more time. And the second one is the controlling. So you have to get the data from the sales and distribution, material management, and you have to do the controlling. So that is the second most expensive. So what they have done is they have invented a concept called accelerators. So in the accelerator, what you can do is there is a sequential of steps you have to perform in your existing SAP ERP system to attach the SAP HANA as a secondary database. So what exactly the secondary database will do? So whenever you do any type of real-time business, that will be first written into your traditional databases like Oracle SQL, MS SQL, or Teradata or something. Once the data has been written to your traditional database, a real-time streaming can be done using the SAP SLT, like system landscape architecture is a one type of extraction tool for real-time data. Okay, then the data move to SAP HANA database. Okay, after that, whenever you are executing a set of reports, okay, that reports will hit the SAP HANA database instead of hitting the traditional database. So that is why that report will take, wherein previously it will take a 6 minutes, can be taken less than 30 seconds when you are executing the SAP HANA accelerators. So that is the way they have proved the things at the initial stage. So once they have proved the initial stage, what they have done is they can make the HANA database as a primary database itself. Okay, that can be done for all the existing applications like SAP BW powered HANA, SAP CRM powered HANA, BPC powered HANA, APPO powered HANA, and everything. So for that one, initially they have started with the BW powered HANA, where you can make the SAP HANA as a primary database as well. There is no need to set up your traditional database. Okay, remove your traditional database and use your SAP HANA database as a primary database so that it will store all your data over there. Okay, from there you can access the data like you do with normal things. Along with that one, you can build some information in your SAP HANA database where that can be directly accessed using your application. Okay, so that may be SAP BW or SAP BPC and everything. So this is the way how you can fit your SAP HANA system into your existing SAP landscape. When it comes to the non-SAP thing, so what you can do? Okay, suppose I have a SAP HANA system which I can back, and I have an Oracle system or a SQL system where I am seeing a worse performance for some type of tables and everything. So that what you can do is you can push all your data real time into your SAP HANA system, and you can build a different types of information models which will apply your business rules on the existing data, and you can do a reporting. So the reporting can be done using a BI tools like a ClickView, Tableau, and everything. Okay, that is the one type of thing you can use the SAP HANA that we call as a data mart. And the second one we can use is a applications. So you don't, suppose I'm new to the IT and I don't want to go for existing system. What you can do is you can simply buy your SAP HANA system and you can build a native SAP HTML5 application on top of SAP HANA. And how these HTML work means, in SAP HANA we have a concept called extra small engine that we call as a SAP XS engine, where it can convert your where it can convert your into SAP HTML5 language and JavaScript language into system understandable language, and it will retrieve the data and it will showcase into the front end. So you don't need to go for building applications. Directly you can build a web-based HTML based 5 applications. Okay, so that is a way where you can use the SAP HANA as a applications as well. And these are all the different types of HANA versions we have in the market, and in the current we are going to discuss about the SP9, so where the current one which has been released in the last quarter of the last year. Okay, and we are going to train on this one as well, and these are all the different types of release dates by different types of SAP HANA versions. And in the market you can find SAP HANA versions which will start with the 5 only, because all the previous versions has been archived. Okay, and these are the different types of roles you will perform as part of the SAP HANA development. So here development means fitting of the system into your landscape as well. Okay, so as part of the solution architect, so what you can do is you have to do hardware sizing and architecture. Suppose I have an existing SAP BW or existing Oracle system, so how much memory I required as part of the HANA. So how you know? How, because the SAP HANA will store the data in compression. Okay, by doing the compression it will store data. So how you know? Because a 1 TB of BW system don't need a 1 TB of HANA memory. So for that one, what they have done is, okay, they have simply given a different types of SQL scripts. If it is an existing database, like for Oracle they will provide one script for you, for BW they will provide a program, for all SAP applications they will give a report for you. For all non-SAP applications they are going different types of SQL statement. Once you execute that particular SQL statement, it will analyze all your existing data, then it will come up with what is the minimum memory you required. Okay, Based upon that analytics, you can go for how much hardware size you required and everything. Okay, and when it comes to the architecture, like how you want to use SAP HANA, like a data mart or a primary database of your existing systems, or a secondary database for your existing systems as well, and different types of components, like do you want to go for UI5, or you want to go for a BODS, you want to install a SAP SLT server, or you want to go for a different types of components as part of SAP HANA. Okay, and when it comes to the developer, we are all well know. So how you get the business requirement using the functional spec, and how you are going to convert the functional specs into the technical spec, and how you can achieve the technical spec using a different types of modelings, like the graphical modeling and a SQL modeling as well. So these are all the part of developer. And when it comes to the third one is application support. So basically the application support can handle by the basis person, or can a separate person as well. If it is a basis person, they have idea about how to perform the SLT operations, how the data is loading and everything, how the system is performing, what is the expensive SQL statements, how to assign a memory to the particular user, and how you can prioritize the users and everything. And when it comes to the second one, you can do a system monitoring, like how the data is loading, is there any delay between the data loading into SAP HANA system, is there any job failure happen. So all this will be part of your SAP HANA application support. Okay, so this is the just a brief introduction about SAP HANA. So if you have any queries, you can shoot it now.